Yo, what's up? This is Blair, and you are back with episode 39. We're on the Zoom today. This will be a YouTube DSP's episode. And I want to get right into the topics, matters at hand. Those of you who know me know that I am a hip hop historian, hip hop fan, hip hop head. Growing up in the 90s, been an 80s baby, like I mentioned before. So I know about the Rakims, the Nas, the Jay-Z, the L's, and then being in, that era of the Slaughterhouses, Eminem's, 50 Cent's games, and so on and so on. So I want to first start off by this, right? Kanye West, genius, musical genius, fashion icon, just a lot to say about this man. Some negative, some positive, mainly positive as far as I'm concerned. That's big brother to me, and definitely an influence for my creative working projects. When I was watching the documentary, and I really didn't want to address this until I was done with all three series. The documentaries have been out for about probably like altogether like a month. So he had series that came out weekly, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna rate that a 5-star out of 5-star only because of how it was presented. And a lot of people might say, that's just, album rollouts, promotion, but it couldn't have been more in a perfect time. I believe that God gives us all a vision. God gives us all a path and a road. And, Kanye, they give Kanye the hard time because he is such a visionary, and, he has some confidence about him where it's almost as like he's just like self-centered and arrogant, and just like, hey, he's never going to be humble. And man, it's just the documentary, like it really the book still, to me, my favorite episode might have had to been the first episode, because it really showed you how he came up, where he came from, and how he even, and in some retrospect, why he is the way he is now. Because I'm gonna say something, like, those of you who don't watch it, who haven't watched it yet, you might well just cut this off right now. But the thing about it is, he was a producer, and he produced for a lot of people that's coming up, starting, in Chicago, and then branching off to like big time, and the crazy thing is, it's just kind of ironic, right? How he started off as a producer who wanted to get into, or who was rapping, but he wanted to kind of, wanted some more notoriety and be taken seriously as a rapper. Because he did address and say that, he was a rapper who just happened to do, beats and produce for every big name that you can think of, but he just haven't really gotten that respect in a sense. But he did consider himself a rapper. And now, and then I know even that, like in time, like a couple years ago, he was talking about how people wasn't going to take him serious as like this fashion guy, and now he's a billionaire from just his fashion, and he was talking about how he wanted to be the best dressed rapper in the game even then. And I mean, despite or regardless of how I personally feel about that, I mean, hey, numbers don't lie. I'm not going to sit here and argue with the whole world, whoever feels that he's the best dressed rapper. And another reason was another thing. A lot of people didn't really talk about this. And like, so I've been on Twitter, I've been on Instagram, Facebook, and people was talking about the doc and, just talking about how when he was in the rock building, he was being shit on by just different people where I don't even exactly know who the young women were. The young women were who was just kind of like ignoring, falls down. But after that part, when he was in the car with his man Cootie, the director, shout out to him, with him and I think Strikes. They was the one who documented it, everything, who did the documentary. So shout out to them because they like I said the timing. But when he was in the car and he was talking about how he wasn't where he wanted to be, how like people, talked about how like people might look at him as this super producer, and then say, you got it all, you rich, you making money and stuff. And he was like, he was still, living in his apartment in, I think it was Jersey, New York. But he was like, I'm not where I want to be. People can praise you and say, you got everything and everything, but it's like, it's not, is it good enough for you? I mean, like I said, one thing is being humble about it, being grateful about it, and he was definitely grateful, I can tell, but it was just like he wasn't where he wanted to be. If you a producer who raps and then you want to be taken seriously as a rapper because you feel like you paid your dues, but you feel like that you're actually a better rapper and you deserve a shot and you want to be respected on that level with the top tier guys like Jay and top tier guys like Talib and whatnot, like at the time, I mean, you aren't where you are. And that's kind of really how I feel about certain things, right? I'm 34 and I'm still getting to I'm still not at my destination of where I want to be. I haven't even to me, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface to where I want to be at. I might have done a lot, people might say hey, you should be blessed, you got this, and I am, and I'm grateful. But in hindsight, for me, looking at certain things, and that's why the documentary inspired me more, because when I looked at it, when I was watching it, I was like, man, that's kind of wild where this guy was a teenager when he started doing this. And then by the time he actually kind of started, when he got notoriety as, a major artist, whether producer, rapper, or not, let's say he was in his 20s, right? But he went out and went for it. And I'm always humble and honest enough to say that, as big as my aspirations are, my ambition isn't exactly what I would want it to be. Because I feel like, there's certain things that I don't know if I'm willing to do to get it like, by any means. But that's just me personally. It's a certain thing that I don't really have the courage or don't really want to do. But, like I said, it was a great documentary. And then, it talked to, the second episode, was kind of more like how he was still after being signed to Rockefeller. He still wasn't getting a release there. He still wasn't really, he still was working. You would think that, because at that time, Rockefeller was still like a big major company. So you would still think that, hey, by that time, he would kind of, you probably won't have to hustle that hard, man. You still got to always hustle and grind. So it was a different time back then, but Kanye did put in the work. And there's also that part, and I think it was in the first episode. Like I said, it was just like, this is the thing. You got to have a support system, and I know that his mother, rest in peace to Miss Donda West. I can, just by looking at her, I can feel her energy and feel like, man, I can tell she was a big impact, and I can tell that she loved her son, supported her son, vice versa. So I know when she passed, it was a lot. It took a change. And I believe, it would do that it does that for a lot of people. When you lose a parent, I mean, I haven't had experience where I lost a parent. I really don't know how I would be or where I would be if I didn't have my parents, but I can just empathize that, hey, his mom passed. They talked about how Cooley expressed how like their relationship kind of divided a little bit as he got bigger and bigger, and he kind of became even more outspoken, more out of control, just start ranting. And it's almost like, people say this all the time, it's a cliche. It's a cliche. So when he lost his mother, it kind of does something. It kind of did something to him. And me personally, I understood and I felt it, because it's like, so I'm a big Kanye fan, a big Kanye supporter. Not going to sit here and say I agree with everything that he does or say, but you got to have a high level, God level fit. Like, you got to be on a certain level to just, you got to be on a certain level to believe in what you believe. Like I said, because Kanye, high level thinking, high level, like, always been man of faith, man of God and stuff. And I feel like his mother was part of that. You gotta speak life and speak positivity in your kids. You gotta encourage your kids to be great and stuff, but also say, okay, be humble. Like, one thing that she has said, when a giant looks in the mirror, he sees nothing, but everybody else sees the giant. That's a bar. So that's why I was just kind of like, where it was like, I believe in me. My mom's someone who I love, trust, and who only matters, like, who actually matters, one of the most important person that matters to me, believes in me. So you're gonna keep that. You're gonna keep that in you. So then when you lose that person on the physical aspect, when they're no longer there to where you can go to, a lot of sometimes you can get spiritually and emotionally lost. And then, another important factor that people probably haven't really noticed is that everything happens for a reason, of course. And, after Kanye lost his mom, him and Cootie kind of, like, they kind of lost touch a little bit, got disconnected a little bit. But that allowed Cootie to, be there for his family, to be a father, raise his daughter, and actually spend more time with them. So who knows how things would have been if they didn't lose that connection. So that's why it's very important. One key thing I want y'all to take from this is never dwell when you lose someone or disconnect with someone, because it's only going to allow you to make more time and build more time up to better you and your relationship, your personal relationships. But we all have to feel. And like I said, it was just kind of, I felt like it was, like I said, 5 out of 5. A lot of people supported him, a lot of people shitted on him, but you need that balance in life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, once again, the devil is not permitted to do anything with us. That's his purpose. The devil's purpose got to be permitted by God. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And it also makes me think about another issue. Like I said, this is hip hop. We're going to talk about it. Slaughterhouse. Talk about losing and mending or just disconnecting with people. Slaughterhouse was a force to be reckoned with. When it was Joe, Royce, Joel, Crew. Like I said, they was kind of like, again, you had Top Dog. It wasn't a group, but you had J-Rod, Kendrick, Absol, Isaiah Charleston. Then you had, Slaughterhouse. And then, when Griselda kind of led the scene, like the past couple of years, I mean, you would be like, man, that would have been great to see. Griselda and Slaughterhouse, right? But, and this is just this is just going to take a brief second to discuss this. Right? Only thing that only thing that I had an issue with as far as this whole Slaughterhouse issue, because again, Crooked and Joel got a project coming out called The Rise and Fall of Slaughterhouse, using a Slaughterhouse logo. And Royce and Joe have a problem with it. I seen a live that they was doing. Royce and Joe was on live talking. Then Joel got on there, just addressing how there was some business on the table and, dealing with the group. Royce was like, he didn't want to do it without Joe. So, in some sense, if Joe's retired and Joe is saying he's not rapping anymore, and like I said, I don't know the whole story, but if Joe's retired, he said he's not rapping anymore, and whether Joe's going to come out of time or not, if Royce said he's not going to do nothing with it, if he's not going to do anything without Joe in regards to Slaughterhouse or record business or anything, and Joe isn't entertaining or discussing or talking about rapping or thinking about rapping, because like I said again, Joe, it's been a minute since I've looked at his podcast, but he retired. He's doing his thing without the rapping. I mean, I'm sure if he did come back to rapping, he wouldn't lose a step. People would support him. But For me, I feel like that's the decline. You got one rapper who's retired, and then someone else who's not going to do anything without that retired rapper. That's just okay. Well, you just got to read between the lines. But there was something. Even though I believe Joel, there was something that I didn't really like, and it was just pretty much the fact of, hey, support the album. If you wish somebody love, lose somebody love, and say, I want you to do well, and then you want somebody to support your album to kind of that's not really synonymous with each other. To some aspect, you don't have to. You can love and tell someone or want the best for someone and disagree with them or not like something. Like I said, I mean, I got friends and family. I don't agree with everything that they do. I don't like everything that they say. I don't always really, and I'm not even really going to say support, because I'm always going to support my loved one and friends. But when it's kind of like when it's kind of just exclusively to items, say like if I'm selling water, right? If I'm like, all right, I got some smart water, it's alkaline, and then my friend tells me, man, good luck with that, man. I wish you well. And I was like, all right, let me buy my water. And then they was like, no, I don't drink smart water. They might not like it, or they might not really want to do it, because you still got to stand for yourself. So I haven't heard on the album, but if it's actually an album like Roy said, where it's just an album this and that, yeah, why would I want to subscribe to that? We don't got to subscribe to everything, whether it's true or not. We don't have to subscribe to everything, whether they're people that we rock with or not. We don't have to subscribe to it. And that kind of goes back, to what I said about Ye. You know what I'm saying? His big brother. College dropouts are classic. They registration, graduation. He made classic albums, he made classic records with legendary people at that time. Otherwise, but you don't have to always agree with someone or support something that they're doing or like something that they're doing. But you can still wish them best, because if that's something that is helping them and beneficial for them, you want that for them. But it's like, at my expense, if you're going to be sitting here telling me to suck your dick, going to be sitting here telling me, I'm a liar and all that stuff, and then you expect me to kind of, feel like I have to do something. But, I guess that's the game. That's why I think it's kind of hard sometimes when you're an artist and, you do business with friends or whatnot, because things can get a little messed up. It's kind of wild, because when you are doing business with your friends, the ironic thing is you can be friends with somebody for 20 years, 30 years. But once y'all start doing business together and start like breaking bread together, a lot of times it shouldn't mess up your friendship or relationship, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's why it's important that we know who we're dealing with. Because like I said, we can't, everybody can't break bread together just because of their friends. You can try to make get an opportunity for somebody, but like I said, money is power to some people. When you start messing that money up for somebody, they take that personal, then it just kind of like, nah, this would have gone beyond. That's why I say, for me personally, man, like, I got a solid circle. I got a solid circle. Don't always agree, might not always really be there mentally or emotionally for them as you would like, but you gotta have a solid circle behind. And that's one of the things that Gang was talking about, with the Drink Champs podcast, which I just finished looking at, which was a hell of a long podcast episode, but I got through it. I got through that jump, man. Like, he was dropping like gold bars, you know what I'm saying, and jewels and gems, talking his shit and still, putting glitter down, but, he had said something. He was talking about how he thought the game was real, and that's kind of what him and 50 went back. But, he was dropping bars to me. Like I said, I haven't listened to all the Drink Champs episodes. I mean, I can't keep up with everybody's podcast. I can't keep up with everybody, what they got going on. I'm doing things myself, but there was something that he said, and this is what I'm going to name this episode is, get out the damn car. Sometimes you got to Cooper good in a situation, right? Because you got to think about your family. You can't always be that person who's going to confront or go head on to somebody. You know what I mean? Because he talked about how he had his beefs and 50's beef, and he was like, man, he thought about Biggie and Punk and how he's like, so that's how he want to go out. If he's going to do this rap, that's how he wants to go out. But some people are hard headed. We got to learn from our mistakes. You got to think back. You got to think nowadays. You might need to get out that car. How much do you care about life? You care more about being authentic and a real cat, riding for your homies, riding with your homies to the death, get involved in stuff that might not have nothing to do with you, or something that is so painful that you just got to defend it? Or do you decide to say, you know what, this can go bad, it's not worth it, I'm going to go home to my family? You got to think about that. Like I said, like a true friend isn't going to put you in danger. A true friend ain't going to get you involved. Rest in peace to Power Man, but he did not have to get in that issue. It's like, man, you disrespect Death Row, you disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? I get that mentality. That's a street mentality, survival of the fittest mentality, but sometimes you just got to get out of that car. Sometimes you just got to stay in the house if you value your life. Because give or take, because those are chances. You might make it home. You might get away with it. But when you're safe, when you're locked down, like say, because people can come up in your crib too while you're there. Not say live in fear, but you have to live. You have to be wise, be smart about the decisions that you make. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like anything is worth dying over except for, defending yourself. Nothing I have is worth dying over, because it's like you have to think about it's worth living for. Like this painting here that I drew, it represents the black woman, the spirit of the black woman and the decisions. Are you going to look to the left, or are you going to look to the right? I'm not saying not to defend yourself and not to take pride in your name and what you have and in the people who support you, but you have to think to be mindful and being like, because nowadays, because even before, we used to get snatched out of our homes. We used to get our homes burnt down. About Black Wall Street. And you have to understand life is a privilege. Don't throw it away over something petty. I understand, and I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody nothing is worth dying for, because I do refrain that statement. I mean, there are some things dying for, but not dying over. Like if you disrespect me, I'm not going to sit here and try to take your life, but I just won't fuck with you. So I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just simple. He called out Eminem. Well, he didn't call out Eminem, but Eminem gave me Eminem verses. Like I said in episode 37, Game Man, he's an underdog. I'm gonna say it in under with versus standards. We might say Eminem will probably win big game or something, but this ain't versus. But if they did a versus, I'm gonna go with Game. Like Game is, he rap. If y'all ain't heard that Born to Rap album that he dropped, I think it was 2020 or last year or something. Listen to it. Step in the light. I think that would be. It would definitely be entertaining. I do feel like Game is very aggressive with it, and he would bring a lot of he would bring a lot of heat. He would bring a lot of aggressiveness to that. And Eminem also, he rap, but I don't, I feel like them both being kind of like, Game wasn't a battle rapper, but he freestyle, he did a lot of disses and beats with people, but like they kind of got that same type of aggressiveness sometimes when they rap. But it'll be good. And just and going back with that, and going back to my point of hip hop and artists being signed together or having a group and having support, and then other people not supporting, man, it's just kind of like sometimes you might just have to go solo. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you Cuba Gooding Jr., you in that car, you're like, man, I gotta. When you have time to think about it, when you actually have a moment to think, and that's the thing. Sometimes, like not thinking, not having time to think, will get you caught up for real. And what did he say? He said, and also he talked about how he likes to, he ride solo. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want to be responsible. Like if anything go pop off, he don't want to have that on his constant. It's like I 100% agree with him. I mean, that's how I am. I ride. I'm a ride or die type dude, but I'm like sometimes I'd rather just be somewhere by myself or do stuff by myself. I mean, I'm not in any type of beef or drama or anything like that, but it's just like, hey, I don't really like having the responsibility for somebody else's life because I'm driving and I'm gonna ride until the end. You know, like that's why I don't really like I don't go anywhere that I'm not welcome. I don't go anywhere where I'm like tolerated. I go where I'm appreciated. I go where where I'm going to be acknowledged. I go where I'm loved and supported. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really want to have to deal with like there's certain things that we don't have to deal with. You know, I don't have to be around certain people. I don't have to do certain things. So like I got a 9 to 5 job. So when I go there, like I gotta talk to customers. I gotta do certain things. It might not be what I want to do, but I'm putting myself in a position to where I don't have to do that later. So that's why I was just like sometimes like when I go places, whether I'm going to the movies, whether I'm going to a friend house or family member's house, or like I said, I usually have my son with me a lot of times. It's been a minute since I actually had somebody else ride with me. I mean, I've been in relationships, they do, but for the most part, like if I'm going to a place somewhere and like I said, 'cause I used to go out to like the beach strip and stuff, I would be in groups and stuff like that. Sometimes I drive, sometimes I don't. But now that I'm a father, since I've been a father, really, if I'm going to like an event or somewhere where it's going to probably be like a crowd, it'd be good to have somebody with you. Like I said, you in the car, you in the house. Don't put yourself in other people's business. I'll just ride by myself, man. Go by myself. Because a lot of times you don't have control over nobody else's situation. I'm not paranoid. I'm not paranoid, but I do have anxiety. So, like I said, I don't go anywhere while I'm not walking. But yeah, man, like sometimes you just gotta ride dolo. But that was pretty much the jewels he was dropping, man. Like you have. Sometimes you gotta pull that. Sometimes you gotta hit the air. You know what I'm saying? Just hit the air, hit the air, hit the air. Sometimes you just gotta hit the air. You know what I'm saying? And then we got this guy, Rap 100, who a lot of times when I do hear his takes on certain things, I probably agree with him. Legends, legends. Who's a legend? What makes you a legend? And like I said, remember this is the podcast. This is unsolicited, unorthodox, untraditional, unconditional. So to me, legend is someone who put in the work, someone who done things, who kind of progressed and elevated the game in a way. And even if you didn't elevate the game, you brought something that's like, that changed me. Like personally, to me, I feel like Fit is a legend, Jay's a legend, Nas a legend. So to me, I feel like Game's a legend. You know what I'm saying? Because he had records, and though they wasn't, you know, up there with his careers and like where the Nas's and Jay Z's and 50's is, because again, 50, because Game he rap, he's been rapping, he's been rapping, he's done movies and stuff, but Game is a hip hop rap legend. 50 is a hip hop rap legend, but is also a icon, Snoop icon. They didn't, something that you do for the culture. 50 then transcended from music, you know. And the thing is, feel like it can mean different things. Like Kid and Play, like again, they brought us House Party. You know, Russell Simmons brought us, you know, Def Jam, Def Comedy Jam. So it's like that's all part of hip hop. You know, so we have the comedy legends, the actor legends, the singers, the rappers, like any type of legend that there is. You know, it's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? If you think of any urban or black or anything dealing with entertainment, I can name you a rapper. You know, even if you say NBA or basketball stuff like Will Smith, Master P, legends. But bottom line is less ones. Like I said, it's just me just giving y'all a quick rundown review, my thoughts on, you know, what's been going on in hip hop this past month, weeks or whatever. So I rated Jeen Yus 5 out of 5. You know, Slaughterhouse, you know, I'm gonna definitely support the album, but I do feel like, you know, it kind of got to a point where it's like, man, it's man, you know, y'all was, I don't know how close they were. Like I said, outside looking in, you might think that, you know, a group like that, you know, less, you know, friends, but competitive. But, you know, they didn't, it went kind of left quick. But like I said, Game, you know, he got an album coming out. I just saw that Easy, he heard that Easy record video. It was okay. Not really, nothing like amazing. I mean, like the lyrics and stuff was good, but it didn't like. I was just kind of like, it was okay to me. You know what I'm saying? One more thing. Let's just end. Nicki Minaj is bringing back Queen Radio. It's going to be on AMP, which is an Amazon app that will be coming soon, and there's going to have a lot of other, you know, artists with radio shows. I believe Tanaje is going to be on it. I forgot who else. They was mentioned on the Breakfast Club earlier, but bottom line, broad ones, man. Sometimes you gotta get out the car. Get out the car. Stay with your family. Go to your family. No beef. You know, once again, I can't stress this enough. Go where you're appreciated, not tolerated. You know, and keep your circle solid. You know what I'm saying? Because if the circle ain't solid, it's nothing but a sea. It's nothing to see. But anyway, just some clear cancer, care bear. Stay safe, stay prosperous, stay productive, and positive. Thanks for listening.